What's up, guys? This is Nigel, and this is a tutorial for Engage Tutorials. And today, I'm not going to show you how to get Reason 4 for free, but I'll have a link in the description how to get it for free. It works. I've done it. It's virus free. The uTorrent links virus free. The ISO is virus free. It took me like 15 minutes to do it. So, besides that, let's get started. Today we're going to learn how to make a synth or a Juno / Hoover Synth. Songs you may know from is the Bloody Beetroots Warp. It's been around for about 15 years now, so it's pretty amazing work with here. So you can pull up Reason, and so that's not it. Sorry. Actually, it's not wide. I got here. So the synth basically, I'm gonna give you these tracks for you. The synth is we got our master track, and then we got our combinator. I can't talk today. Then we got a Thor synthesizer, and then our we got some chorus and flanger, and then we got equalizer. And that's pretty much it. But all of these are within the combinator. So I'm just gonna show you the synth I made, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to make this one. So here it is. And that's it. So first off, you want to open up the program. You should have this by default, and leave that alone. So now you gotta right click and insert a combinator, and then again when this is done, you're gonna right click, and it's gonna you can add in a Thor polyphonic synthesizer, or as you can see, it's right here too, and you can just drag it in, but it has to be within the combinator. And so starting off with this, you want the keyboard mode, you want it to be polyphonic, you want it to be 8x4, and then you want the trigger to be MIDI and step SEQ. The rotary will be 1, and then rotary 1 will be 1, rotary 2 will be 2. Master volume is exactly 0. Now you're going to drop down, and here you're going to have a multi-oscillator. Actually, all the way down, you have multi-oscillators. All three of these, you want multi-oscillators. And for the first oscillator, for the KBD, you want it to be 127, which is all the way to the right. For the octaves, you want the octave to be 2. For the semi, you want it to be 0. And for the tune, you want it to be 0. And you want it to be on this first line here. And you want it to be on octave up, down. And then the AMT, you want it to be a whole way up to 127. And then for this one, you're going to want this to be all the way up for 127. And you'll be at octave 3. And then you want semi to be 0. And then you want the tune to be 0. Same thing here, same line. You want octave up, down. And you want the MT to be all the way up. And then here you go into KBD 127. You want this to be an octave 4. And you want this to be semi at 0, and then tune at 0, same line. But this one you want to be an octave. And then when you go up here, you're going to make sure these are all lit. So you're not lit now. You want them to be all lit. And so you want the drive to be at 64. You want the NV to be about 33. The VEL, or velocity, at 47. The KBD at 0. Frequency at 21.6, and res at 0. And you want self oscillator checked, and you want 24 type 2. And for the mixer, you want to be at 64, and for the 1-2, you want to be at negative 2.1, and for the 3, the oscillator 3, you want to be at negative 0.21 again. And you want this to be the shape at soft clip, and you want the drive at 37, and you want this little arrow to be lit, and then up to the LFO1, you want the rate to be 2.69, the delay at 0, the followed 0, you want this to be waveform 0, you want this to be 0, this 180, the D at 160, and the R at 4.35. And make sure you have the gate trig on. And then I don't think you are gonna need anything over here. Or yes, you do. My bad. Everything should be 378, 50, 0.54. Sorry, I'm trying to move on here. If you have to pause, I'm just doing this. This tutorial isn't like 10 minutes above. 0.54, 25, and you want the 40, and then you want the delay at 12.1, and then you want the chorus feedback at 0, rate at 0.66 hertz. You want the empty at 32, and the dry wet at 60. And then you're gonna want the filter. You want the gauge trig on. This should be all the way down. This should be at 4.35. This one should be at 21.8. This one should be at 4.35. And this should be highlighted again. Gate trig. This should be all the way down. This should be at 705. This should be at 0. And this should be at 180. This should be at 0. This should be at 0, 0. And then this. And again, sorry, you should have gate trig on. You want this at 1.24. You want this at negative 21.8. You want this one at 1.24 seconds. And then I did these already. If not, it's 2.69 and 0. And then down here, you're gonna click, and you're gonna hold down the mod MV or mod envelope, sorry. And then you wanna go to your first oscillator, and then go to pitch, and then you wanna put that to 56. And then same here, you wanna go to mod envelopes again. On this one though, you wanna go to oscillator 2, and then go to pitch, and then you want that 56, and then this mod envelope again, and then you're gonna go at the octave or I'm going insane. Oscillator at 3 at pitch again. You want that 56. It gives more bassy, deeper sound, and then this should be off. This should be forward. This should be 1/16 for sync on. This should be note. The edit should be the way up. Should be C3, and these should be all red and non-touched. And then now you gotta insert a CF101 chorus flanger, which over here should look like this little red box right here. I'm just gonna drag it in. You want the delay to be on 30. You want the feedback on 0, the rate at 2/4, and then you want this sync with the red amplify, like the red on lit, and then you want this at 40, and this should be off. We're almost done. Now for the we want an M-class equalizer, which should be up here. M-class equalizer, and what you're gonna want is this. If they're changed now, it should be 134.20, and then 0.62. Now you want to select the param 1 and put the frequency at 7.558, the gain at 4, and the parametric at 1Q, and then 3.7. Gosh. Then you want parameter 2 selected, and then you want the frequency at 104, the gain at 0, and then parameter 2Q at 1.7, and you want the high shelf on. You want the frequency to be 6.685. You want the gain to be 5.1, and the the high shelf at 0.62. And if you did everything correctly and you followed me, you should have a synth. And now, actually, sorry, like when you have this, you're probably not gonna have anything down here but this. So in order to create that synth, what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to press this button over here, and you need to press the pencil tool. And now from here, you can make your notes. So real quick here, I'm just gonna make mine something simple. Just gonna drag out, drag up. This is something simple, so if it doesn't sound great, sorry. And then here it should sound like this. That was really bad. But like if you mess around with it and you get around to it, and it's working, And from there, you can progress into making more stuff. And my next tutorial will be a dubstep wobble. And whenever you get into like the bass, and this is more of like a, well, this isn't for beginners, but I mean any beginner. I made this so any beginner can do it without any problems. And plus, I didn't have to switch to the backboard when you press tab, where you have to switch. I made this easy as possible. There's a lot of people who show you how to make this synth often use a splitter, which then you have to move these wires, and it can get kind of complicated. So I made it as simple as possible, close as possible, but it won't be a true synth. So, then you can mess with it, and then like what I'm doing now, like I just showed you, is this one, which I have some regular drums, and I have some drums and bass, and then I have my wobble down here, which is